Hello everyone, in today's video we're going to be talking about the food situation when it comes to part of losing weight and getting back to shape, because I feel like a lot of people either focus too much on the workout or too much on the food, and what we're trying to do here is that we're going to be focusing on both. So the big thing for today is that I'm going to be explaining why I am, while not being super like into dieting and stuff like that, it's going to be more of a, I feel like the word's overused or the term's overused. There's going to be more of a lifestyle change into how much I'm eating rather than like being super making sure I eat exactly this many calories with this many fats or not that many fats or anything like that. Because if, once again, it's more about how I want to be able to do it and how I think I'll be able to sustain it with it being more consistent. Because in the past, when I've done the counting calories stuff, I just get really annoyed at it and then I just stop doing it, which once again is a problem that I have, but it's a known problem. And so we're going to try to work around it. So the way we're going to be working around it is that we're going to be just aware of the calories that we're eating, and we're going to be aware that the goal is around 2,000 calories a day with all three meals, not 2,000 each meal, of course, but 2,000 a day eating the three meals. Because another problem I had is eating a lot at once and then being hungry for the rest of the day and then eating again because I'm so hungry. So it's going to be making sure that I have food spread out through the day and not just stuffing my face, but also limiting myself to the calories as well, but also not strictly counting calories, but being aware of it, because the more meticulous that I would get with it, the more potentially annoyed I would get at it, and I would kind of just stop doing it. So that's the plan for the amount of calories, I guess. And luckily for me, in terms of the actual types of food I eat, I don't actually eat that many like bad foods. Like, I'm not drinking like 3 bottles of Coke a day. I'm not eating crazy amounts of snacks. I'm not eating a ton of junk food or anything like that. It's mostly just the amount of food that I've always been eating. Like when I was like really bad, I was eating like 4,000 calories a day, which is obviously not healthy. It doesn't matter what you're eating at that point. If you're eating that many calories, obviously it's going to be too much and you're going to gain a lot of weight, which is what I did. And so, luckily, it's not going to be really more about what I'm eating. Like, for instance, when I'm eating like breakfasts and lunches and dinners, it's generally not that bad of foods. Like, I'm eating like egg salads for breakfast slash lunch. I'm eating like a sandwich maybe for lunch. And then for dinners, I'm having like, chicken, rice, vegetables, or some sort of stir fries and stuff like that. And like, to be fair, of course, eating all of those foods to the amount that I was causing me to gain weight, but that's because I was eating so much of it, and not because inherently those foods are bad for you. So that's going to be the main strategy for like what we're doing with food wise, because when we're talking about lifestyles or diets or anything in those similar veins, I honestly don't think I personally need a crazy amount of dieting to lose weight. It's always been the amount that I've been eating pretty much my whole life at this point. Because, once again, like I said earlier a couple minutes ago, I was once eating like 4,000 calories. And if I just, as soon as I just stop doing that, I immediately lose like a lot of weight. So it just shows that how much I've been like packing it on because I was eating a ton. And to be fair, there was some like being sad and stuff like that. But like, I'm not sad anymore. So that's not really, I guess you could argue that's an excuse, but it's just the way reality of things are. So we're going to be keeping it at 2,000 calories a day while making sure that I am not eating the 2,000 calories before like 3 p.m. because that means even though I successfully do it at like 9 p.m., I'm going to be super hungry and then I'm just going to eat. And you could argue that like, oh, I have some willpower. Well, I have none. So that's what we have to factor in the fact that there is no willpower. There's zero willpower. I will crumble every time. So we have to factor that in. So we have to make sure we spread it all out with the 2,000 calories, and we have to make sure that with the known factor of zero willpower, that we make sure that it's strategic in when I'm eating, when I'm having a snack, or about saying that having snacks at strategic times, because I eat dinner relatively early. So that means there is a bunch of hours after dinner where I need some space available so that if I'm hungry, I can eat without being guilty and eating anyway. And with that type of strategy, I think that's one of the reasons why I wanted to not do the super counting calories because, of course, maybe we go slightly over 2,000, slightly under 2,000, but that's the whole point of it being a little bit more of a flow. Like, we're going to be more flowy and not super strict with it because I don't want to be not be able to eat stuff because also restrictions also make it more difficult and making it want me to eat other things. Like if you tell me I can't eat donuts, I'm not a huge fan of donuts, but if you tell me I can't eat it, well then I want donuts. So it's going to be one of the things where we can't, or I can't, not be told that I can't eat something because then that's the only thing I'm ever going to want to eat. So with that, knowing how I am, that's how we're going to work with it because we're doing it for me, obviously. So having a specific dietary plan really isn't going to work for me. So we have to be very fast and loose with it, with having, I guess there are technically strict rules, like of, 2,000 calories, making sure we spread it out. Like, I guess those are the, I guess, strict rules while not being super strict. I feel like I'm just saying the same thing over and over again, but that's how it works sometimes. So with those rule sets, that's how the food situation is going to work. And overall, I feel like the food thing I think is going to be the one that we'll probably come back to with me talking like this in videos, talking about how it's going and how what the food situation is going because obviously when I guess I could show you guys what I'm eating and stuff like that, but also it's not me cooking it most of the time. So it's mostly my family that's making it. So while I guess I don't technically have super control, obviously I have control of what I eat. And obviously what they make is not like it's not like we're eating like McDonald's every day. So it's not that big of a deal when it comes to what we're eating. But overall, that is going to be the plan for the food situation, like I said before. And for the most part, I don't think that food situation is going to change. I think, where the cardio, the workouts, that stuff is going to change over time, where they get more difficult, different spots, all that type of stuff. The food stuff, most likely, is going to be a thing that's going to be pretty stable because unless I need to eat even less, but I don't think that's going to be a really big deal because like I said, I was eating a lot before, and so restricting myself to 2,000 calories, I think, is going to be enough in terms of the food because I'm not eating tons of chips or cake or junk food and stuff like that. So I think the food situation will be quite stable overall when it comes to what we're doing. And if something does crazy happen that I do need to change, obviously I will let you all know. And we will keeping a track of it and keeping an eye on it. And I'll be telling you about the different types of foods in other videos as well. So that's going to be the main food situation. I don't know if we'll be doing more dedicated videos like this to talking about food, but overall, that is the plan. So thank you everyone for watching today's video. I really appreciate it. Please subscribe down the channel. Like the video if you liked it. Dislike it if you dislike it. I completely understand. Comment down below what you guys think about the food stuff. If you prefer the more, I guess, casual style, the way I'm doing it, or if you need a very strict, tracker or anything like that, let me know what you guys think about it in the comments down below. I have another YouTube channel called The Techno Jelly. If you'd like to check out that, we talk about video games and all that cool stuff. I also have a Twitch, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Blue Sky, and Threads, all at The Techno Jelly as well. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you in another video. Goodbye, everyone.